Live. Hey. Give me a second here to check my signal and all my bits. Hold on. Yeah, are we doing good over here? Hold on. There we go. Here. There we go. All right, cool. All right, so if you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted that I am live on Twitter. Give me a hot second here to punch my buttons here on the Discord. So if you know where I'm at on Discord, you're welcome to shout out at me. But I'll be doing this for the next couple hours. We've been working on the Light of Xaryxis adventure. This is for the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration supplement that we've been building to publish on the DMsGuild. And once it is live, you'll be able to read the entire document cover to cover as a preview for you to see what exactly it is that we're offering here, and that it's actually providing a lot of mechanical detail that hasn't really, none of the other supplements I've seen have really hit that mark yet. Plus the scaling system and the action economy mechanics for characters controlling ships are going to feel incredibly similar to what you already know as combat in 5e. So I'm pretty proud of how it's coming along. It's looking really good. We've got Adam Hancock currently editing it, and he is amazing. So let me go ahead and shift my screens here. This is the cover that we had built in the Spelljammer playlist that we have linked, that this video will be linked to, that's in our playlists here. This is like around, I think, episode 10 to 14 or something like that. If you check in the description down below, there's a link to the DMs Guild. It shows you a slew of books that I've already produced, and you can see there also that they are 100% preview. You can read them all cover to cover, run an entire 1 to 20 level campaign over the course of a year or so if you need first to see that there's actual value there. If you're into color mana or alternate spellcasting mechanics, try them out, see if you like them, and when you agree that, yeah, these are actually really cool, or there's pieces of it that you want, then come through and buy them. That's how bookstores kind of work. So consider me your local bookstore. We've been building the Citadel of Light. We built it black and white here. You can see we had to remap the entire thing because I can't just pick up the maps from Light of Xaryxis and drop them into the supplement, but the way that the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration system works is that it redefines scaling combat mechanics from the 5-foot scale to 50-foot scale to 500-foot scale to 1 mile scale. And on this particular map, this larger square is 1 mile, which means that each of these squares inside 10 by 10 are 500 each. And if you check the Spelljammer playlist, there are dozens, like at least 10 hours worth of different points in the playlist that we're talking about. Fighter ships, like 20-foot, 30-foot, 40-foot fighter ships versus, or small craft, versus like Wasp being a 200 Spelljammer vessel, or a Hammerhead ship being a 250-foot long Spelljammer vessel. You've got crafts like small craft, and you've got vessels, and they operate at different scales because they're so different in size. And so you've got 5-foot medium-sized creatures. 50-foot is the max size for a small craft before it becomes a vessel, and then 500 feet is the current limit of a single spell jamming helm. A major helm, a minor helm is the same mechanics, but it goes a little slower per day, and is a lot less expensive, but is good for small craft that are going to clip on and be part of a vessel's retinue of resources available, like a drop ship or defending fighter ships that, you can check back like maybe eight sessions. You see how the team used a scorpion ship to basically clip different fighter craft to the legs of the scorpion ship when they went into battle against Zariel in Descent into Avernus. We built that into a flying Infernal war machines, which gave us the foundation for small craft fighters, which we then it was easy just to upscale that to the spell jamming vessels once the rules for Spelljammer dropped in August. So we had already been developing since June the mechanics for small crafts in in Descent into Avernus specifically. And then once August hit and Spelljammer got released, we were able to upgrade it. So, and then just the basic command mechanics in general, we had built out over a year ago. So all that stuff is just kind of folding together into what's turning out to be a pretty badass product. But today we're going to, we're going to get into color. So, pardon me, I've got the hiccups. Let's get into D&D Beyond so we can find some color references. Colorblind people like me, we love the internet, and thank God for the creation of Photoshop and photo importing, because it allows me to do things like grab color references off of professional artists that can see color, so that I can have a little bit more confidence that whatever color it is I'm painting, it'll make sense to your visual. And so I'm looking forward to dying someday and being able to look back at my work without the limits on the visual machinery that I have to be able to, give myself one last pat on my back before I guess either oblivion or heaven or whatever the hell it is that we get. But here's hoping. So Astral Adventures Guide. I think I actually want to look at the Rock of Brawl. I think that's going to have the reference material that I'm going to want for this. If I'm not mistaken, we have a map in here somewhere. But this, honestly, this alone may be a decent piece I can reference off of. Let's go to open image in a new tab. Let's copy that image. Let's import that image. Yeah. Very good, very good, very good. Very, 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 very good. I should be able... I could probably extract colors out of this. Let's see. That's blue, so that's not probably not going to work. Yeah, there's not enough resolution here for me to really understand exactly what's going on here. At least, like, weird. Very, very weird. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to find the map. So I can use. I can obviously use the ground and stuff like that for reference. That'll be good to use. Like this stuff over here. Oh, that's green, so that's probably a field or something. I can grab along the edges here to get the proper color for stuff. I think I can probably do that, but I want to get a reference for what color they're using for forest and stuff. So I should be able to find something. Accompanying poster map. There we go. This should work. There we go. Very good, very good, very good. Very, 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 very good. Open image in a new tab. Let's try that again. Open image in a new tab. Copy. I tell ya. Maybe third time's a charm? Thank you. Jeez. Okay, now I should be able to extract some colors that I want. It's forest. So maybe we can pick up, yeah, we can pick up some decent stuff there. We'll just use this as our base color. And we'll go from there. Perhaps contrary to logic, I'm going to start with the forest, and then we're going to build underneath it. So we'll start with our base. I better set a timer for myself. I've got a pretty strict deadline. It's 7:42 right now. I've got basically an hour and a half to play right now here on stream, so I'm going to fire up my timer, kick with a 20 minutes. I've got about 4 20-minute blocks, about an hour and 20 minutes right now that we can use on this, and we can proceed from there. So we'll be back tomorrow morning working on more Eberron cartography, and we'll be doing more of this in the afternoon as well. The Crystals of Mabar adventure for Eberron and Spelljammer Combat and Exploration are my 2 primary projects right now. We'll be following up with the martial power system after these are published. So we've got some badass shit coming down the pipeline in the next 6-7 months. Hey Ozzy, good to see you, my man. So I'm content with the underbelly here, enough to actually start laying in color language, and if we get far enough, then we'll start building out the top here. We have to establish turret locations. So if the characters try to use their squadrons to do any kind of strafing runs, then we'll know where the defense points are that we need to target to eliminate. But we already established all that on the underbelly, and so that makes it safe for us to start playing in color. This is what we're doing, and we are grabbing the reference material, color reference stuff over from this forest over here. So we'll poke at this, and I've got some neat light texture ideas that I think are going to work that kind of match that idea. So we're going to go with a dark base, and then we're going to use just some basic texturing techniques to layer in lighter leaf colors and then highlights on top of that. So right now I'm just squoodling in, just blocking in the majority of what we got going on here. But I wonder if I can do this. I wonder if there's a way for me to do this easier. Can I be smarter? Can I be smarter than this? What happens if I press this button? Oh my god, this might work. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see if this does work. I'm going to inverse selection. And then I'm going to select, I'm going to modify, I'm going to contract selection by 3 pixels. Let's undo that and make it 2 pixels instead. Select, modify, contract, 2 pixels equals, I bet that's going to work. So let's back out of this real quick, back into the color here, and very yes. Excellent. Okay, cool. So let's do that, and then we can come in here and we can clean up. I got tired of drawing empty graves in the cemetery, so I had to take a break. Jump on stream here and do some Spelljammer shit for a while. It's ultimately it'll be as tedious, but at least it's a different subject matter, so it feels fresh. Which again is a really good reason to have more than one project on your bench at a time. So if you start burning out on one piece, you can just transition to the other one. It means that both pieces, I mean, if both pieces come out roughly the same time, they're both going to be released a little bit slower than either one of them would have been if either had been a priority to finish before the other. Having said that, that is not how I find myself rolling. Yeah. But we're still getting through all the assets, so it's I'm apparently doing it all right. So in the future, I hope not to stack myself up with as big of projects, but I always want to have at least two. Well, two. I don't want to have three. I like to have two. I want 2 projects on my bench at a time, preferably at different phases. Like these are this. I'm still figuring out how to do this, so I screwed up with this project in that I've got both the Eberron Adventure and the Spelljammer supplement, both basically neck and neck in production cycle. So like they're both going to be. I suspect the Spelljammer Combat Exploration project will have its edits completed before the Eberron, but I suspect the Eberron edits will be finished by the time Ukulele and I resolve any of the revisions that the Spelljammer supplement demands. So by the time this product is ready to move into page layouts, I suspect the Eberron project will be demanding rewrite attention. So again, I'll be able to juggle these 2 projects. I've still got token asset production to do, map production to do, but I also have internal illustrations in the document. Once the manuscript is completed and we start dropping it into layouts, we can see how much demonstration diagrams we can provide. And once we have all the tokens for all the standardized presented ships that are in the Spelljammer Adventures supplements, like all 15 or whatever ships that they offer there. Once we have tokens built for all of those, it's going to be a lot easier for us just to take those tokens and then to drop them into theoretical battle maps that are describing, like, will illustrate the text of like how to track things or how to target things at range in combat. Like it'll be really easy for us to take a grid and take these ship tokens and just show them interacting on a map so that you'll have an easy visual reference to grok what the text is trying to tell you. To hit both of those angles of learning, the reading, internal audience, and the visuals of the demonstration maps on the page. Which again is super useful for having basically built out all these different alternate scenario options using the command and exploration mechanics in the Light of Xaryxis adventure, because all that stuff is still here on this production playlist that you can look at. So, and it's it's possible that some of the playtesting that we recorded developing this thing, that the playtest team might sign off on having those things linked live for people to take a look at it, how it actually played out. So neat stuff, super fun. And but my task at hand right now is to color the forest. So here we am, coloring the forest. I feel like that circuit's complete, so I'm going to come over here and fix this one up too, and then we'll get into lighting effects for the leaves. So this is the amount of tree that the Citadel needs to be self-sufficient in being able to recycle its own air supply, so it doesn't have to dip into atmosphere someplace to refresh in its air bubble, because that's a big ship. That's a difficult effort to request. But what I'm realizing is that the undercarriage here of the Citadel is being, most of the space that's available is being consumed by the oxygen supply in the ship. So we're having an issue about food supplies, because this place is, even if it only has a population of 6,000 people on the top side, that is a ton of food. I mean, well, it's actually multiple tons of food, so pardon the pun. But the point is that it's a logistics nightmare for these poor bastards to not only provide enough air, but also to provide enough food for them to be able to function. So I think what that means is that they have to use the actual planet of Xaryxis that this is in a matching orbit with. And they're going to have to do shuttle runs to provide raw materials for food and building and stuff to this place, because it's not large enough to be self-sufficient in that manner. So it can breathe on its own, but it can't feed itself. The other option I think is interesting for food supply source is it could have asteroids tethered out here that are covered in fields, and it could have asteroid out here, and it could have an asteroid here, and it could have an asteroid here, all tethered to the Citadel, and then just use little shuttle ships to jump from the docks here over to here and back. That's an easy run. This is an easy run. Maybe, I mean, this would also be an easy run, as would this. But as long as they're all sitting in the same gravity plane, there's no issue about anything getting scuttled, because these asteroids are smaller in size than the Citadel is. So if this were my Citadel, that's what I would do. I would anchor farming asteroids to this thing, so that it would be able to just up and just move and tow its asteroids with it in case they need to bail on the planet. But as it sits right now, it's in close orbit with the actual planet. So another a supply chain moving from the crops and the planet out to the Citadel is pretty feasible. So just don't ask how. Well, I mean, there could be Underdark, like inside the Citadel itself, like inside the interior, there could be endless farms of Roth or, whatever creatures that they would be feeding off of. But elves always give me that vegetarian vibe, so it makes me think that they want lots of crops. I mean, these could all be seed plants that they do scavenging off of. But the idea of towing food colonies or farming colonies behind them on separate asteroids, I think that's good space opera content. So I would definitely want to go with that. But I don't think I need to specifically detail it in this adventure. I just want to have an underbelly here, because this is a viable tactical option that players can take to land their ships unnoticed. Well, let's land them on the underbelly and then hop over to the top side like I was talking about yesterday. And then I can just do a separate piece talking about all the specifics in the Citadel. Like, I don't know if there's anyone out there on the DMs Guild that's attempting to flesh out the society of the Citadel of Light, but this map would be something easy for them to pick up to use to help flesh out those different mercantile locations and important people and all the blah-de-blah. That's a fun little thing I would happily bundle and collab with somebody on after this thing gets released. There's just so many options, so many things you can do to expand on the content that Wizards has already produced using these different command supplements that we've been developing. It's a little ridiculous, and I could very well just plant my flag in using command to to approach any upcoming adventures from a different angle that Wizards continues to produce through DM's Guild using the one D&D contract, and then export all my new ideas into Patreon or maybe a separate OGL. I'm honestly going to be interested to see how the creator community sits with the new OGL once it gets dropped and we understand what the actual rules of engagement are to create one D&D content. I think I'm getting to a point where I don't need to rely on it, that I've got enough anchor products being put on the DM's Guild that I could just get my Patreon up and running and say, hey, here's the core document. You can read the entire thing for free on DM's Guild, and then check out this content that I created this month on my Patreon. Here's the Boros Guild. Here's the Simic Guild. Here's the Strixhaven Lorehold College in deep detail. And that would be under community content rules. I wouldn't have to... I would only be getting paid for Patreons that show up. And when you show up, here's some documentation about the different settings that they've been building using the mechanics that are on the DM's Guild. So I could still be getting stream of interest through the DM's Guild for that stuff, but then again offloading production into my Patreon, so that I don't have to worry about monkeying around with any weird contract. Like, no one's gonna pay a lot of money at all. Like, there might be a dozen people that are willing to pay $5 for a $20-page book about the Boros Guild specifically, like alternate mechanics for the Boros Guild. I've seen people posting variant guild ideas on Reddit and elsewhere, and they get a lot of thumbs up, but they're not making any money that way. They're just getting bragging rights and pats on the back from the community. If you offer your stuff for free to view, you can get those same pats on your back and appreciation from the community, and actually have a mode to ask for compensation for the effort as well by having a place to throw a $ sign at. So anyway. Ramble. It's honestly, at this point, it's just the artwork that is the most important part. We'll worry about the marketing and stuff like that after the actual documents release on Friday the 13th next month, and we'll just take it from there. See what makes sense for us moving forward. But for now, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. This is a WotC production that we're modifying. Sensibly, we should put it on the DM's Guild. But like my time travel campaign, I don't necessarily need to put that on the DM's Guild. It's mine's set in Eberron, but it doesn't have to be. It could be anywhere. So that'll be like a big decision to make. Do I want to drop my time travel campaign onto DM's Guild, or do I want to publish it separately, like do a Kickstarter or something? It's a time travel hex crawl, which is a fascinating statement unto itself. But the whole campaign has been super fun to run as well. So maybe that will be a Kickstarter. Who knows? Who knows? Pushing pixels, so satisfying. Get on board this train. They say coloring is a stress relieving process. Maybe. I'm kind of willing to get on board with that statement. When finishing this map is the only thing that's preventing me from publishing my work, that is not a stress-free circumstance. But this far into the project, we are nowhere near that point. So yes, we can casually appreciate the production as it is. So okay, great. So we have this. Let's go find a transition color. Oh, we already have one. There we go. Boop, boop. Cool. So let's look at a reference document, though, to see what they're doing. Yeah, can do. Out of curiosity, where's your key? Oh. Hey, thank you, timer. Let's grab this and just put it someplace where it's going to read through the whole thing. City over there. Let's just do this. I'm trying to. See, look at that. My the size of my little tufts on my trees were pretty close to where they have it scaling on here as well. Well, hold on. Let's make sure we're operating at the correct scale. This line here should only be 2 squares wide. So let's resize this thing down. I'm being a perfectionist. Don't mind me. 1,000. There we go. That's the actual size in comparison to this forest. So, see? Look at that. See, I wasn't crazy. It was worth taking the time to make those tufts the right size. These are corresponding with the size of trees that they have on the actual map at the same actual scale. Look at me, folks. Look at me. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I am not, however, going to go so crazy as to actually do each individual freaking tree. Get out of my face. That is ridiculous. So I ain't going to do that. I'm just going to stick with my format because it's my art. I'm doing things my way. My way. Shut up. Let's see how we do this. We got that crystal thing. We can't use that. What I think I want to do is I've got a brush in here. I've got I think I want to use the conifer tips. Yeah, I think this is what I want to use. Hold on real quick. I think my girls give me a shout. I might have to step away from the computer here for a minute to say hey. Oh, I need to AFK for a few minutes. My gal's got something going on, and she wanted to tell me about it. So, give me a few minutes. AFK BRB. Burp, burp, burp. And gaze in bright-eyed wonder at the joy that I've found. I will be back ASAP, guys. All right, we're back. And thank you for your patience. Just had some family stuff that needed attending. And I think I can maybe get away with a larger brush. Maybe this isn't the brush I want to use. I mean, it's not horrible, but doesn't have, I don't think it's quite the language that I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to use that one. Let's find another brush. Let's find a different brush. Don't really want to use this one. That's too, I use that for those crystals in Ebron. That's a little bit too patterny. So, what about the shrubbery? I haven't had much use for you lately. Maybe you can do something special for us. Nah, it radiates too much. I need something more I need a. It's too directional. I need a radial brush, something that's that doesn't look like it's going in a particular direction. So I might not have an easy answer. I might just have to make up something. But let's try this foliage spin brush. See if it hits the mark for us. Potentially. That might actually work. This particular brush has a variable. It automatically rotates and resizes a little bit every time I tap on it, so it creates this more like this randomizing effect. And I can play outside the lines here because I can just erase all the extra chef that's beyond the actual forest lines. That's not a problem. I kind of like how this guy's sitting, so. Easy breezy. Fun. This is actually incredibly satisfying. Like this is actually soothing, relaxing, whatever that word is supposed to be. This is actually, I'm going to delete this out in the middle here and redo that. Just, yeah, the tapping for textures. Very enjoyable. And now we'll do highlights. So let's see what we want. Let's see what kind of texture we want to have for highlights. All right, yeah, we gotta go fetch the lighting for the highlights. It's only a little more highlighty. Let's up it like that. Yeah, that feels right. Do I want a different texture, or do I just want to use the same texture in something smaller? So I could. First off, I'd have to pick I need to pick a lighting style. Like, do I want to have directional lighting? So I'm worried about shadows on one side and then highlights on the other. Do I just want to have like implied lighting without any like specific rules, so that I can have lighting scatter around, like in this clump over here. If I bring this down, I could potentially do like highlights like that. And then just make sure I'm working along the rim. So it isn't so centralized, you know? Oh, there's my timer. Let's keep going, because it's snowing. I think I like this lighting. What's he saying here? Diffuse lighting makes sense at this scale. Allows you to use to help indicate height and importance. I would not worry about a single direction so much. Yeah. Yeah, I think that feels right. And this, do you agree? This is a style that is reading well. I think it's reading well. Yeah, looks good. Coolio, nice to have the vote of confidence, man. Thank you. I want to be... Let's try this one. Not bad. I'm actually pretty happy with that. It's kind of neat. Let's break those chunks up a little bit just to make sure I don't have anything too wonky going on. But yeah, that's some decent, easy texture. I like this randomizer that Epidemic has put in because I expect to hear songs in a certain order. So like when one song ends, I intuit what's supposed to be the next song, and I'm delighted when I'm wrong. Sometimes I like it when I'm right because sometimes I'm just right. But I like it most often when I'm wrong because that tells me that the randomizer is actually randomizing stuff. And it's like, oh, I didn't expect to hear this song. That actually makes me happy to hear that song, even though it's, you know, the same music I've been listening to for literally months. It's the randomizer keeps it fresh, so I am very content with that. No complaint there. too far out though. If I'm too far out on the page, the pixels, like, it can get a little smudgy. I like this randomizer. It's a fun little brush. It's rarely the right tool, so when it is the right tool, it's very satisfying. Just like that crystal fractal brush that I use for the crystals in the Eberron maps. I very rarely get to use that like geomorphic cauliflower looking pattern, and like there's very few things that it actually works with. So I am tickled to no end that the Eberron map, it actually does work. So nice. Thanks for the input. You've provided me with consistently good guidance and support. It's honestly, it's very much appreciated. There's a lot of times I've got a few real life friends that are, well, honestly just family that I can trust impeccably, that they're never going to guide me wrong. But so it's nice to, because like I have to pass them in. I mean, they like looking at my art, so it's hardly a burden to them. But there's that hang time of, like I've got maybe 24 to 48 hours before I'm actually going to get a response to them. So I actually really appreciate you providing input like that, because it helps me in real time be able to keep kicking through stuff. So the worst thing I can do as a colorblind person is invest a shitload of hours on texturing when it turns out the color is not right. God, that sucks. So this is another example of how streaming is actually helping my production pipeline quite a bit. Especially as the tribe grows, we can get more people arguing over, what might be the best representation of the different options that I have, and that's actually a debate I'm looking forward to seeing show up. But I consistently agree with your opinion, Anzi, and that's actually really cool. And you're pretty good about pushing me on stuff. I think that's surprising. I'm old and I've done thousands of critiques. Hey, right on, man. Well, happy to have you on my side, honestly. Free transform equals... No. Earth. Yeah, that's what. There, that should be clean. That is clean. I think I'm okay with the black line sticking out from it. I think it helps with overall image recognition. I just think it strengthens the composition overall. So I'm happy with keeping those lines black. But yeah, that's fun texturing. I'm like way into that. So let's call this forest. And now let's build topography underneath that. Oh. This thing's just cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just cool. I think I want to keep the forest in place. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's go fetch some stone resources. I think I can get those off of here. I do like this painting. That's a great painting, to be honest. Like, look, it's weird. Like this piece is two-dimensional. These are two-dimensional pieces that have had their planes shifted in Photoshop to align with the angle of the structure. But once you get past this point, like it's two-dimensional over here, but it's three-dimensional here. It's like here's your breaking point. And anything in front of this line becomes a three-dimensional object that they're basically just pasting in mass in a three-dimensional form. That's just layer stacking. But here it's only two-dimensional. I think like this is obviously a large structure, but it's flat. So I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, like at this scale, it kind of makes sense. Like, how much more work would have actually have taken for them just to do the scaling for those? And all of these really feel like 3D assets that were just imported into and dropped onto it. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced it's the best approach. At a large distance, it reads fine, and it's good quickhand, like good shorthand for objects to get that gritty resolution. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, again, the overall execution, I think it looks amazing. It's just when you get up into the closer details, I don't know. I think I would have probably approached this a different way, but I may have ended up tearing my hair out in the process of doing it. So let's stop giving shit to people that aren't here, because this artist did an excellent job and certainly deserves no spite. But I do want to see, this is a good span through here. I think I want to use this as my base color here, and then we can use this, and then we can use this. So I'm going to grab this and this as my base colors off the cuff, and I can come up here. There, we use those for now. But I guess they blocked it in 3D and painted over it. Expected to have open fields in the side. It was too plain, so they filled it in to help composition. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm getting pinged. Who's pinging me? Okay, so our current problem is how much... Like, to me, those are identical. These are way too close in value, like gray tone. These are way too close in value. I, myself, cannot pick those out. So I actually have to pick a different color. Frack. I like that color. Let's try this. Purple, huh? I don't know if I like that. I can. We should have a Xaryxis map in here that we can go gank. So let's do that. Saviors of the Multiverse. Yeah, there we are. I bet it's all purpley and shit. I love those perches. That's such a great design. I love that. This is some cool shit, man. They did a great job with this picture. All right, admiration is over. Let's get back to work. So, ooh, shit, I just locked up. All right, we'll have to wait for this to finish saving, and then we'll relaunch it. Working on it. Hold on. Dismiss. Shut up. Let's try again. Stort. Okay. Good. Let's see what we got. Green, huh? Interesting. Not what I expected. That's more like what I expected. And I suspect it'll serve me better. Let's go with that and that. Let's see how these sit. If this is going to give me the contrast that I need. I think I can get away with that. Yeah, if we go with the lighter color as our base, and then just use the darker one as a low light, like little shade effects to complement the black lines, like we did in the Eberron topography. I think that'll work out. So cool. Let's get rid of that and push this off to the side, and we'll use this as our base. So yeah, we can get to work on that. So let's get to work. I think I can do this smarter than I am currently. Let's go with bottom. Maybe not. Yeah, okay, that's not working. There's something wrong with the lines, and honestly, it will probably take as long to fix the lines as it would to just Now let's go with stone. We'll call it stone. Go with that. Yeah, let's just do that. We'll have to actually go through and manually rim everything, but that'll be okay. Just try to block stuff in. Like we can use the darker, like down in there. Like there's enough contrast there to make it. Like, I think this is gonna turn out good. I think this is gonna turn out really, really good. Yeah, we'll just color it in. We'll just paint over it. And then we can use the same color language on the top side. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Stop. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think the contrast is just complimentary. You point the forest back in. I think, yeah, I think it just adds. And like I can do, and either like the highlights along the tips, like the rim and then keep the darker stuff towards the interior. I think that'll end up working out well. We'll see. We're figuring it out. But we'll be able to easily flip this over. And then like this is already good for the top. It's it's kind of the same thing. So we just get rid of the forest and shit. Anyway, whatever. We're working the problem. It's turning out well. I'm excited. I love getting into the color phase. Like getting out of the line art and into the color is just exciting. Each piece has its own slow grind with color as well, like especially like in the Eberron maps with like all those crystals on the ground. But it's a texturing process, so it feels, even though it's just a lot of stippling or just filling in blocks, it feels it feels like you're solving a different problem. Like the actual structure, the form of it is the initial problem with the line art that we're doing. But once the form is defined, it's like the color comes in and it helps create definition of volume, and of course the texture helps provide information about the materials. So you get to work the same problem, you get to work the same content from a different perspective with a different problem that requires different solutions. So it kind of revitalizes the effort. You just got to slog your way through the first step to get yourself into the new creative space of what the color process is providing, which is why I am going to, once I'm finished doing this work here on the stream tonight, I'm going to go back and continue grinding on the Eberron Cemetery map so that I can get into coloration with that on stream here with you guys ASAP, because that is going to be crazy fun to do. I am super looking forward to coloring that cemetery. That is going to be sick. But you can't chintz the time on getting the line art right, because that's where your structure, the strength, the bedrock of the image actually sits in the line art. And then on top of that, any level of coloration or lighting effects that you want to do is, at that point, it's just up to you at how far down the rabbit hole are you willing to dive. But good line art cannot be defeated, ever, ever, ever. Even if you end up painting over the line art information is still there for you to retain structure and keep the integrity of the original image. And I wasn't really big into line art for a long time until I started painting by doing a silhouette outline and then coloring inside of that silhouette space. That's when I really started to feel, wow, like this line, like even if I'm not just filling it all in, like this coloring process that I'm doing right now is essentially the same thing as like filling in the space with a block color and then painting over that block color to provide additional form and shape detail, and then I can color over that again to provide material texture information. So it's a layering process, and none of them are like, it starts like the most difficult is up front of building the line art to build a solid structure. And then as we move into more and more detail, it makes the piece look better and better, but it takes less and less effort for me to do it. So as I build momentum to completing a piece, it actually gets easier for me to actually get over the finish line, which is a new, I've been only working in this particular, like literally this type of workflow process for like maybe 8 months. And I haven't done a lot of artwork in those 8 months at all. So this is actually kind of like a proof of concept for me that I'm on the right path with that mentality. And boy, oh boy, so far it's really been paying me off in spades. I was asking my muse, what's a way for me to be able to maintain the quality of content that I have and collapse the time frames so that I can afford to have good looking color art without completely destroying my timetables. And this is what she served back to me. And God, I don't know who she gets her information from, but she is gold. So it's pretty cool. I'm really excited. Oh, comments. Hey, hey Tyler, it's good to see you, my dude. Yep, so here's the piece so far. It is certainly coming along. Coming along. This is, coloring is very satisfying. It is satisfying. I'm not a coloring book kind of guy. I am certainly not a grab a box of markers and color, because I have no idea what the hell I'd be doing. Like Photoshop is the only place I can actually color because I can't see color. So I can let the pixels over here tell me that this is like, you know, a reddish rock sort of color, almost not quite pink, but it could bend, and I could see it bending in that direction. Given what the pixels are saying, I could see this going pinkish, which I think is cool because that's a really good contrast to the green that we have for the forest, which are the two dominant colors inside the piece. Like I don't need to actually see the colors myself if I have good color theory, and I can see an RGB scale here over on the side, right? So that's telling me what I actually need to know to be able to effectively paint. I just need to be able to grab a photo reference of something in the real world, or an aesthetically pleasing, like MTG card art is like my go-to for a shitload of color referencing stuff. That and just nature photographs and Bob Ross, of course, for environment stuff. But like this piece in particular, it's great to be able to pull the color references directly off of the out of the Spelljammer Adventure box set, because I'm now using Wizards of the Coast's own color palette to express the maps that I'm building. So I feel the style is obviously different, but I feel it helps make it feel like it belongs to it. Like these things are meant for each other, because they really are. So, anyway, I'm excited. God, I get so excited when I start dropping color into a map. It's just so freaking fun. So fun. I'm okay with these like line inconsistencies and stuff. They aren't really fretting on me. I think it's a quality enough. It feels like a professional enough map that I can afford to have those organic flaws. I think they're appropriate considering the organic component of the rocks that this thing is being built on. So I'm not finding any faults in the line art so far. I'm very pleased about that. I think I've ran a full circuit. Double checking. Hot daggity dig. What does this button do? I kind of like that. Oh, I kind of like that a lot. Let's go to 75. I kind of really like that. You know, Ozzy Phil here doesn't use a pen and pad. He does everything via keyboard. We can hear the clicking. Yeah, all my hotkeys. Well, I mean, it's not inaccurate. All my hotkeys are off the keyboard. So I've been thinking about like one of the little sidekick machines that like you build a claw around your hand. You can like press up to toggle things. You can press down to toggle things, and you can move your fingers back and forth to toggle stuff. Like, it's super complicated. I've been thinking about that device, but every time I think about it, it's like, you know what? I've been using my keyboard for like over a decade, so I may as well stick with it. But at the same time, it would allow me to bring the monitor even closer to my face. I can get the monitor close enough that I can lick it, and that is horrible. I shouldn't do that. So I think for safety and sanity, we're going to stick with the keyboard. Clickety clacks for all. Where are we at? 9 o'clock now. We're doing great. Let's pick up this color. Go to here. No. Yeah. Assuming hotkey mostly B. Yeah, I use the B for brush. I use D to make bigger. I use S to make smaller, and E is my eraser. So my comma, brush, and then ESD is like my core set. And then I have A for my my tool, the A button, and R is my smudge brush. So I sit inside of R, A, S, F, B, and then W is magic wand. So I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only have 8 keys on the keyboard that I press at any time, and they all sit inside of this space for my left hand. So I can just casually leave my left hand sitting on the keyboard, and all I have to do is like I can adjust all my tools from here. And if there's ever a tool I need that's outside of smudge, erase, paint, and then wand and lasso tool, I can just pull open the toolbar and grab whatever that is. But it's very rare that I need to go outside of those 5 tools and then enlarge and decrease. That's actually and then the X button I use to flip what color. So yeah, there's 8 hotkeys. That's it. I only use 8 hotkeys out of all Photoshop. I use 8 freaking hotkeys. So if that gives you any sense of whatever it is that would be sensed. Yeah, like that. There's that, and let's get back into it. Custom layout. Check you out. Check me out. Well, I mean, I've been using Photoshop for like 20 years, so I know what I know, and I know it really well. There's a shitload of features I have no idea how to use at all. But I mean, ain't that just Photoshop, right? We're going to experiment for a little bit. I don't know necessarily how the lighting for this should be, but I feel like this is intuiting pretty well that this is more of a shaded area than elsewhere on the structure would be. So I think I can safely get away with like that. Like here. I'm old. Every program I use, I get frustrated unless I can make the keys to match other Photoshop versions. Absolutely, my man. How do we want to do this? I'm gonna go with some smudge work for a while and see where that takes us. Might be the right answer, might not be. My God, these 20 minutes are just kicking by, man. I must be having fun because I am amazed at how fast these 20-minute blocks are just popping by. Maybe we likes it like this. Maybe we does. I'm going to keep at this for a little bit just to see how this pans out. I discovered something today that this text box down here at the bottom, when I have my Photoshop going, I can still see text scrolling down here so I can stay current with whatever the most recent message is, because it shows up here in real time when you guys are typing it, and then it shows up here later. So I can actually keep myself updated on what the conversation actually is doing by seeing text scroll here on the bottom. And I see it happening down there, over there, faster than I see it happening down here. So that's something I literally just picked up on, and I think that's kind of cool. I noticed text there earlier today when someone was saying something to me, but only just now did I really pick up on, oh yeah, there's an update that's coming through, and maybe that'll give me a little more warning when I see it tagged down here that there's an incoming message. So by the time I actually get to it, it'll populate over here for me to actually address. I'm thinking that might be how that works. I'm just looking at workflow, just like the stream itself, as it were. So that was a neat little thing to discover. Seems interesting. I'm not sure if it's 100% there, but I'm liking the idea. I like the idea enough to continue with it. How about that? Nothing is immediately jumping out at me saying this is a bad idea, don't do this. So I'm not being stopped yet, so I'm just going to keep going until something says, no, this is why you can't do that. I am going to hide the forest now. I'll leave the forest up. Let's see. How do I want to do this, though? I like these little pieces in there. Kind of like that. I don't know, kind of liking this. Could use could use the same random brush. Which way is the light coming from? We're not specifically stating which direction the light is coming from. That's one of the challenges of the piece. Like, we have darker shadow here because there's an elevation change happening between this forest and this forest that leads into this ravine. So that is a thing that we're dealing with, because the direction of the light would change just depending on where the ship is in orbit in comparison with the sun that it's orbiting. So I'm trying to see if I can keep myself from using a specific light source direction and still be able to accomplish the look that we want. So, a bit of a challenge. Now I'm kind of curious about this down here. Like I've lost something. Huh, I guess that's a no. There, back on point. Wow. Woo. This is kind of what we're thinking about right now. That would be the royal we, of course. Do I like that? Maybe. Maybe I like it. I'm iffy about it right now. So I'm not 100% in. I like the idea of gradients, but I'd have to see it play out inside more architecture further uphill to see if it's really playing out the way that I want it to. But then I can also stack on top of it other lighting effects from other directions. So it can get more complex than this. And I think it's going to need to. Just need to get to that. I just need to get to that point. So I'm just going to keep working this side. Working the problem for now. Man, I really wish there were more episodes of Peripheral. I keep thinking about that show. It's a cool show. I can't imagine it not coming back for a second season. I don't know. That's kind of reading. It's kind of reading like crystal, like a gem, you know, like the Radiant Citadel. I think this process that I'm creating here is more akin to the Radiant Citadel than say just an asteroid rock. I don't think this is quite conveying that idea, but I'm not convinced I need to stop yet. So it's a weird space for me to be in. Like, I don't know if this is actually productive or not, but it's fun. So I'm just playing it out just to see what happens, but I don't think it's ultimately healthy for the piece overall. Not sure. I kind of like that. What happens if I lighten this up too? Let's take this down to 80, 85. $75 doesn't look too bad. I think that's that might be a good base plate, a base to start with. Actually, because it's not so contrasted that it looks unnatural, but it's adding different highlight effects without having to specifically define where the light source is coming from, and that is what I was looking for in this process. So I think this might be a decent solution for me to back that down like that. I'm going to finish the piece. I'm going to take this back to 100%, and I'm going to complete the circuit, and then we'll look at it as a whole, because I think I can keep this. So let's flesh that out. And then we'll work on the second tier. We'll put the second tier in a separate layer, so that we can manipulate its lighting specifically, independently from this outer rim. I think that'll do well for us. And these are the weapon stations, and if this is a 500-foot square, then this weapon station is like 2, 3. That's like 150 feet worth of space. So you can fit a crap load of siege weapons on that siege tower. That originally we were talking about it being 4 trebuchet, which would only be 60 feet wide. This is like 2.5 times that area. So it wouldn't be 4 trebuchet, it'd be more like 10. So it would be D8 times, not times 10 for a single trebuchet, but it'd be D8 times 100 damage that each one of these battle stations are doing if your ship gets within 3 squares of it. D8 times 100 damage, that a Star Moth only has 400. So I think I need to make these circles a little smaller, so they don't imply quite the same amount of just raw damage. But the scaling works. I mean, it's legit. It's just a little too aggressive for even with an armada. I think as 8th level characters, I think that's just a little bit too aggressive. So I want to make those smaller, just so there's just less weaponry barraging your poor characters, even if they have 25 ships with them. I don't know, man. If you do an underrun with 20 ships, you can afford to lose 2 or 3 ships per round, and that'll still keep you inside that tolerance band of like around a boss fight having like maybe 7 to 10 rounds of combat. And like that's a thoroughly exhausting, but if played correctly, very satisfying combat scene. Especially if it's a giant set piece like this, being able to resolve that. Like I think when we first did the playtest for this, it was like 6 rounds, and you guys had gotten to a place where you were able to secure a safe spot to land, and then transition into taking over the Citadel of Light on foot, and that's when the actual ship combat stopped. So I think we're on the right path. So I'm okay. I'm good. I'm okay with a boss fight taking 10 rounds. You know, assuming you only have like 4 or 5 players. But that's if you get like 7 players on your team, then you're gonna want to have a shorter round. you need shorter combat. That is too long. Bop bop. Bop bop. Hey, keep it going. God, that was another 20 minutes. Can you believe that? That is ridiculous. How we're kicking through time. Jeez. Muse putting me on a separate time stream to make the work much more enjoyable. I appreciate that about you. Bop, bop. Geometry's getting a little complicated over here. Okay, so what is this lighting effect telling us about the shape of the structure, right? I think I've got enough topography down here at this point. That is a really good question to be asking. The way I like this song. The way that the map is built, it's using the lines, the creases for dark points, and then it's allowing more light to filter in the closer it is to a large open plane. And I'm wondering if it should be backwards, if it should be the other way around. So I'm going to finish this circuit because we're almost done anyway. But then I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it backwards so that the highlight is on the line and then the dark bit's in the middle, and it radiates differently. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll see in short time if that's a better option or not. But it might be the right option. Because we're just trying to build rules for how this structure works in general that we can replicate for other things. Like all the asteroid maps that we've done previously, it had a light source that was like always in the middle, and then the light would radiate outwards. So the center of the document was always the source of light. And this is different because it spaces around it, and the center of the piece would have the least amount of light, which in here it actually does. Huh. It's interesting. Yes, I'll finish the circuit just to finish it. And then we might have to do something different. But yeah, I don't think after having done all this, I don't think this is the right solution. I like it. I think the workflow is similar to what we're going to need, but I just need to figure out the specific, like the sequencing of it, like how is it actually going to sit to inform the material. So, Mojo Jojo. It's not horrible. I still think it's great. So let's take it down to that 75% I was talking about. Yeah, no, it's not right. So let's try again. Let's try again. What I do know is that I like these little fissures being dark. So I think I'm going to start there, where I know. God, there's another 20-minute mark, man. Was that another? No. Oh no. This is my dismiss. That's my 9:30 p.m. Ooh, a chocolate chip. That's my, if you're sick, you need to take NyQuil now alarm. Well, I'm not really sick anymore. So now it just tells me, hey, you're intending on going to bed soon. I am. You are. I am. You are. I am. You are. I am what I am. Comment.
I'm going to believe that was your 9:30 chocolate chip alarm.
I just looked down, there was a chocolate chip there. I'm like, is it meow? Like, I can't pass up a free chocolate chip. What a fateful circumstance. Yum. Maybe I do need to set an absolute light source for the rocks to make sure they all interact together properly. I'm not convinced about that yet, but it's possible. Subtle. It's a real fun way to start. Now, dark spots. I'll just rearrange my folders here real quick. There. That'll work. Sorry, I'm just sorting out my... I got a ton of folders here. I'm trying to figure out what's where, why. Next up, let's go with how do we want to do this? We're on a new layer, so that's good. Let's go with we were originally talking about doing that top down, so let's try that.
This might actually work. We will see. I think I like this better already. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, this would go like this. Right. Yeah. This is going to kind of let us define the light source as like an ubiquitous above. I think that's going to work out. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely agree, Hans. Nice. All right, so that's a start. And now we're going to go through the effort of smudging it on down. Maybe I do want to use that texture brush that I had for the stonework. Hold on, let me grab that chisel. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Now I'm really glad I put these dark spots in a different layer. Oh, I kind of like that. Maybe. I don't think I'm using enough. I don't think I have enough control going into this. I think I need to be a little bit more specific about how I'm having the highlights fall. And I like that smudginess, but I think it's a little too haphazard. So I'm going to try doing this instead. Like direct it a little bit more. Try to control where it's edging to. But I do like the control of the lines like this to be able to indicate direction. Like that feels very natural. Oh my god, another freaking 20 minutes? You gotta be kidding me. God damn, 40 minutes just shot by. Just absolutely just disappeared on me. That was amazing. And then I can, come up here and I can erase outside those lines and build a new layer once I'm done with this. But I think this is a decent texture language. I've got this cough going on. It's just been, I think I don't know if it's COVID hangover or if I caught a flu at the same time or what, but I've just got this lingering cough. It just spits up a lung ball every now and again. Unpleasant, like it never feels like it's actually complete. Oof, wow, I like that. Hold on. Oh, that's kind of cool. That might work. Oh my god. That's going to be a lot more intricate detail than I anticipated, but I kind of like how that highlighting is working. That's kind of cool. It's getting out of control, but I think for it to look the way that I want it to, I think it kind of has to. Oh god, and these little elevation shifts, that's super cool. I think this works. It works enough for me to put like 20 hours into it to see if I'm right or not. Wow, that's really cool. There's a risk of it looking too much like fur or hair, though, so I have to be careful about that. Like, it needs a grittiness to it. Complicated. But I suspect I'll figure out the language. It seems like it's worth figuring out. And if I do too many of these grooves, then why is it hitting a flat line down here if it's got so much elevation language further up that hits another smooth line? So that's a clashing narrative. I need to be careful about how I'm expressing this stuff. I think we're on the right course, though. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't want to overdo it. But boy, am I interested in that. Still think I want to go deep shadow down here. Well, that's interesting. Do I actually want to have light at the top? of these things. Then it leads down into shadow. Is that the correct way to do this? Uh-oh. Oh, oopsie. Phil found something super cool. Oops. Apparently I have to save. Oh my god, that actually looks really freaking intense. That's cool. So let's get that out of there and let's bring it back in as a fresh dock. I think we found our answer. Holy shit. Wow. Okay, so this is going to take a lot of refinement and development. But I think that looks freaking cool. What happens if we dark it down here to the end? That almost has like a skipping stone sort of feeling to it. That's kind of cool. It took a while, but I think we found it. Looks actually like really freaking cool. Nice. I am happy. I'm very, very happy. I think I need to drop some shadow underneath these trees, but I'll worry about that on another pass. Right now, I just want to make sure I get the texture for these stones correct. This is cool. Meow. Oh my god, there's like a million rabbit holes that my heart just wants to dive down into right now. Just like there's like 1,000 little smudges and little dots I can put in oh god, just to texture the shit out of that. I mean, look at that. That stuff is fun. Oh my god, I could spend forever in here. Wow, this is just fun. Nice. That is intense. All right. So let's flesh all this out and go through that same fade process. So I can just get lost in that shit for freaking ever. Man, that's cool. So we'll do the fade down, and then we'll do a fade up. And then we'll cut out of the darkened areas towards the top where we want to have the additional steps of elevation. Yeah, I think we just automated this. I think we just figured out how. Okay, cool. And yeah, chisel, absolutely the right brush for this job. We're going to come back and we're going to keep doing this in the morning. I'm going to be jumping on. Oh God, it's 10 o'clock. Yeah, I've got a minute left, so I'm going to. This is my finish run here. I'm going to put this on pause, and we're going to pick this up in the morning and keep at this topography. This is super freaking fun to have discovered, and I am looking forward to sleeping on it for the lesson to settle into my head, and wake up in the morning and see if I can jump on stream here early. Just punch the crap out of this shit for a few hours. If it's going to flow as smoothly as it did tonight, I'm just going to slam this stuff out. And I'm looking forward to it. So we got about 20 seconds left on our docket. And hit save. I'm really enjoying this. So I'm going to have more of that up in here. We'll see if we can keep the language consistent, and that's a base. So and then we'll have shadow underneath the trees. So that'll darken all that bit out. I think we're doing good. All right. Dismissing that for the night. And it is just about bedtime for Phil here in Seattle. Good girl. And it'll be fun to see how this stuff works here on the top side. To be able to add in elevation, like subtle flavors of it, like going down the streets and stuff like that, and like higher ground here and here, and like gradient down here to a lower elevation here at the docks. I think this is gonna be fun. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and kick out of here for now, guys. Thank you so much for the support, the ideas, the suggestions. We're building better products together, and I don't know if I'd be able to evolve this quickly through the piece without y'all. So thank you. And I'm going to catch some Z's. I will catch you guys in the morning, maybe. Anyway, see you guys later. Take care.